Hello everybody, welcome back. SK Modified Fixed Series time here at South Boston Speedway. Figured since my second attempt in B-Fix went well, I'd take a second attempt at this. Tried this day before and unfortunately should have kept the video. It was a really good race right until the last like 3 or 4 laps. Somebody just did something incredibly stupid and took out myself and like 2 other people in the front. I got really angry in that, so I gotta remember to control that stuff better, but also should have just kept it because it would have been a good race to show you guys. And it literally was not my fault at all. So, um, yeah, that's the breaks of racing. Like I said, I just got too angry and it wasn't something I wanted to show. So we're gonna try a second attempt. Hopefully this one goes a lot cleaner. It's a smaller field, only 11, pretty weak. There's only a couple decent guys in it, but we're gonna see what we can do. Gotta go out for qualifying, try to grab a front starting spot. Hopefully, I can hit close to my personal best and potentially grab the pole. But if not, try to see if we can go like second or third and be able to have something. So, gonna get a run to the line here. Try to make lap 1 quick. Don't want to slide it out of the corners, but got to get back on the throttle as quickly as possible. Feel like I gave up just a bit too much time there out of turn 2. Turn 4 goes even worse. We get way loose. This is going to be a terrible lap. 4th right now, so we're going to need to pick up some pace. I really would like to be 3rd if I can. And we actually end up going slower. So it looks like we're going to be starting 4th. I did not turn anywhere near as good of a lap as I wanted to. Although I feel like my race pace is much better than my qualifying pace. We were 1,000th of a second away from getting 2nd or 3rd, and 5,000ths away from tying 2nd, so the 1 is quite a bit ahead, but pretty close to the 2. The 11 with a good effort. We'll see what he can do. Looks like we are going to wait the last 20 seconds for the 7. Did he attempt any laps yet? Nope, has not even attempted, so fortunately we're going to finish it out. So I am running everything as the standard default for the fixed setup. The only thing I possibly could have considered changing for myself would be the brake bias. Could have possibly dropped it back a little bit, but I'm barely dragging brakes, and it's not changing a ton over the course of the run. I'm more or less just as the run goes on, waiting just a little bit longer to get back to full throttle. So, didn't feel like it was worth changing that. Big goal is just going to be trying to get myself to the inside line to not get freight drained too far back. The closer I can stay towards the front, more to allow me to ride on the bumper of everybody. Tire save for the first 20-25 laps, and then really start pushing the second half to last third or so of it. Pull up session best lap. 40 laps is a pretty standard SK modified length. Like I said, big goal is just to get a good start. I know the 2 and the 11 are going to be pretty similar in pace to me, if qualifying says anything. So it's going to be trying to get a decent start, get to the inside as quickly as possible. Even if I drop back to 5th, I can kind of live with that. Really, to gain iRating, I probably need to finish no worse than 5th to even think about it. Probably 3rd or 4th. And I would say to gain anything significant, probably meaning like 30 plus, probably need to finish either 1st or 2nd. So, not going to set those goals though. We're just going to let that sort itself out. The only way I can do that is by driving the smartest race possible. Biggest thing is just to not overdrive the corners, but not also stab the throttle crazy hard, because you can get it to kick a little bit, which is good for later on in the run if you're trying to loosen the car up. But you won't want to do it too early, because you'll spin tires, lose momentum, and then you'll just heat up the rear tires and make it tougher to get forward drive as well. So it's going to be finding the balancing act between keeping that momentum up, but not, um, overdriving it too. So got a lot to pay attention to in South Boston. Typically is not one of my better tracks as well. So try to do what we can, have some fun with it. Want to start running some more of these fixed series just to make sure that I'm getting the driving techniques down, have those. I mean, I enjoy the open setups, but I think for a little while I've been not focusing on the driving enough and focusing too much on the setup. So get that nailed down, and then once I feel like I've progressed to a pretty acceptable level, then I can, transition back to the open setup, because typically the open setups, I think, are a little bit more respectful. Not always, but I feel like some guys are a little more calm and don't fight as hard. I mean, these deep short track series ones, you're going to fight hard right away because there's no cautions, and it's such a short race that you've got to go from the instant you start. But especially like B fixed and C fixed, I feel like guys are a lot more aggressive in that compared to the open side. So, but we'll see what we can do. Hopefully, have a decent run. And biggest thing too is if wrecks develop, just to try to stay out of them. Hopefully not get running from behind too bad, and keep it going straight. Get ready to go. Pace car's gonna be pulling off.
All right, Jake. Nice.
One's off and rolling. 11 did not get going, so we're gonna be in 5th because 9's gonna get by. Slot behind the 9, front of the 6. 11 did not get a good start on the outside. We're gonna see if we can try to catch up to the 9 here. I think he is eventually going to work by the 11. Or he's going to push up into him. 11 gets in front of him, so that did not work out. And that's also allowing the 1 and the 2 to pull away. Which I did not need them to open up a big gap if I wanted any shot at first or second. 9 pushes wide. Not quite there to be able to look to the inside.
The guy behind has just done a 14.
So sit back here close enough that if 9 gets inside the 11, I can take advantage of it, but I don't want to be forcing issues. 6 is going to try to regroup, come back after us. 9 gets loose on the outside, we get by him. That was close. South Boston's not real wide, so probably didn't have a ton of room to make that. So now we'll set our sights on the 11, at least back to 4th. Take a free spot. Usually my fastest lap comes somewhere around like lap 6 or 7 in the run. Saw the 2 there momentarily get the wall going into turn 3 the last lap. So to keep an eye out for mistakes, maybe that'll continue to allow us to try to catch back up. That's also allowing the 1 to pull away. And we're catching up to the 11. Keep an eye on the gap back to the 6. It's at 6/10 right now. See if we're pulling away from him or if we're keeping even. Pushed up way too wide there out of turn 2. Just getting on the throttle a little too early in the middle of 1 and 2. Laps are going to quick off quickly, although I'm the idiot that drives into the wall like the 2 did. Gotta watch that. Hopefully it didn't cause too much damage to the right front. We are slowly pulling away from the 6. Biggest thing is to keep an eye on the gap to the 2. It's 1.1 right now. Feel like we will be faster than the 11. We're just gonna also have to look for a spot. I wish I was closer because that would have been the mistake I needed from him. It's just not quite close enough to get to him. Try to do this without making any contact with the 11 if I can. I know it's short track racing, everybody says, oh, that's just short track racing, but it's not how I want to do it.
Okay, Jake, that's good consistency.
Keeping even with the 1 and the 2. So, even if we don't get there, it makes me feel like I had the pace to run with them, and I just need to work on the qualifying efforts. Let's see if that maintains over the course. Obviously, if we get stuck behind the 11, that's gonna hinder things. Trying to get to his inside. Get loose off of turn 4, trying to save it. Allows him to get back in front, and also cost me time to those 2. Got no pressure behind from the 6. Not quite there to the inside of the 11, but trying to scare him up. Delay back, reset, try again. Keeps pushing up in the center there. It's going to be our opportunity to try to get to the inside here into turn 1. Turns down into us. I don't know, maybe I wasn't quite there, but I tried to stay down low off of them. We'll watch the replay, but nevertheless, 4X, unfortunately. It's so hard to get out of these races without instant points. 1.4 up to the 2, 2.2 to the 1. We're not to halfway yet, so we got some time to try to get to him. I don't know, he opened the hole, I thought I took it, and I tried to stay off him. I hit the throttle a little bit to try to keep the momentum up, and maybe that pushed me up into him, but if it did, he was not giving me very much room. Picked up about a 10th on both the 1 and the 2.
The gap in front is now 1.30.
But we're going to need more than that if we want a shot to get by. Go for...
Okay, Jake. Halfway home. Fuel's good.
Trying to drive clean though and see if we can get to the 2. Gap's kind of evened out now. So again, feeling like at least I know I have the pace to run with these 2. Which makes me happy.
E3.
Overshot 3 there. Just need to get on the brakes a little bit sooner into the corners. Right sides are getting a little warm now.
The gap ahead is now 1.00.
Keeping even with the 1 closing in on the 2. So we're probably a second fastest car out there. The 2's not quite into the 9 yet. Or the 1's not, so it's not like I can even say he's being held up by lap traffic. He'd be faster. Got the 11 coming up. Hopefully he won't be trying to head on us. We're staying even with the 2 now. So we'll pick up a tiny bit of time and then kind of stay even. Might have meant he made a mistake. Trying to continue to close it up. 14 to go. It's going to be really tight to get to him and then try to get by.
Temperature is increasing. It's now 84 Fahrenheit.
Track temp's coming up a little bit more. Starting to eat into that gap a little more. I overshoot turn 1. Causes me to lift out of 2 to not hit the wall. It's going to cost us some time, but the 2 had a bad exit. 1 got by the 9. 9's going to work by him.
Time was 14.75.
We are holding even again with the 2. Get a little too loose there in the middle of 3 and 4. Just got a little too much of the apron, but pick up another 10th.
You've just done it.
Hustling, trying to get there. We got 10 to go this time by.
You've just done a 14.
I need probably a 10th, if not a little bit more than a 10th a lap. It'll give me enough time to try to set up a pass. I need probably 3 laps or so to set up a pass, make it clean. We are definitely catching the 2, without a doubt. Trying to work a little bit of a later apex, get a run down the straightaways. Overshoot turn 1 there. 4/10 of a second now. Feel like I'm trying to get the race win, even though we're not even remotely close to that.
Your lap time was 14.72.
And I'm trying my hardest. It's exciting. Not going to be dealing with the 11 at least. He's too far ahead. 6 to go. Still 4/10 of a second. Use a mistake out of the 2. Now we'll see if this lap traffic's going to play into it. He's going to be looking to get them out of his way as quickly as possible because he sees me coming. Got it down to 3/10 now. Both using the apron a little bit. 2/10 of a second. Right there to his back bumper now.
You've just done a 14.
Way too wide out of turn 2. 3 to go this time by. 8 gets out of the way. We got to stay low for him. It's gonna kill our opportunity to get a pass going into 1.
Still there.
Not clear the 8 yet. Second, my run on the outside allows the 2 to pull away a little bit. It's just about the worst spot to catch the 8. Alright, looks like we're gonna be 3rd. 2 to go. 2's pulling back away.
Together, we'll be on the podium. That lap time was 50.
Trying to get a run back at him. Roll the center of the corner a little bit better. Got a little loose there out of 4.
Okay, Jake. One more to
Lap
go.
traffic just hit the worst time. I think had we not had that, I could have given a better run. But I'll take 3rd though. Able to recover after the 11 didn't get a good start on the outside.
Great drive. That's a podium.
And we'll take a look at the deal with the 11 and see what happened. I'll send him an apology if, you know, it really was me, but I don't feel like it was anything too bad. Let's take a look at the tires first. 92, 92. The wear's never massive in these. It's always the temperature is the big thing. So, pretty even. It's going to be a bit higher on the right rear than it is on the right front, but for these cars, I like to see just a little bit more temp on the right rear compared to the right front. It means I would have had, you know, a slightly looser feel, and it meant that I was driving off the right rear a little bit more. It could mean I was also sliding it a bit more than I needed to, so had I not, you know, gotten on the apron as much and slid the car kind of through the center, especially 3 and 4, it might have shown a little bit of a lower right rear temperature, but I'm not too upset with those. And we finished quite a bit off of the 1, but we got, you know, held up there. So I feel like I had decent pace with the 1, and honestly, I think I was, especially that last half of the run, I think I was definitely faster than the 2. So it doesn't look like there's a ton of incidents out there. So we'll take a look at the beginning and see everything that did happen. So the 8's going to see how that one looked, because it kind of looked like the 8 was going to cut down. So the 8 was turning down, and then the 8 kind of holds the same line maybe at the start of netcode, and then the 10 pushes in. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, 8 probably should have given the 10 just a little bit more room since the 10 was there and he did take such a high one. Alright, so this one's going to look probably more on me than it is on the 11. So the 11 was going high, giving me plenty of room. I'm trying to keep it on the yellow line. Here around the bottom. No, I'm actually now looking at that. I don't know how much more the 11 can expect me to do. Like, we went in. Yes, I definitely dove it in, but when I'm diving it in, if we were side by side up here, I would have been near the left side nerf bar. So it's not like I'm diving it in from a car length back or something like that. We were we were pretty close to having the inside on the 11. And then we go in. I'm going to keep it here pretty close to the yellow line for the left side tires. They actually, you know, bounce underneath a little bit. Right here, I'm still trying to use the brake to stay off of him because he's starting to come down. I've got a lot of wheel in it. Maybe I got a bit too much of the apron and it kind of kicked me up, but he continued to come down. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a racing deal. And again, the angle that I took was always going to kind of round the corner a little bit more compared to the line that he was taking. But when he's out there and I'm coming in, he cannot expect to arc it down as far as he did. I mean, that was wishful, and you can't expect me to back out at this point. Like, you can see where we make contact. I'm mid number with him, so I'm not really gonna feel too terrible about that one. I think that's at best a racing deal, or I guess at worst a racing deal, and at best it's him not recognizing that and continuing to come down. Because if we look at it from his perspective, he's gonna come in. He's going to be arcing down, and like if he had stayed, you know, maybe somewhere right in this area, we probably wouldn't touch. But he continues to come down further the right sides inside of the lane marker there, so you can see the right sides were over it. Now they're going to be underneath it when we make contact. So you know, he gives me just a little bit more room, keeps the right sides on the other side of the lane marker. We might make it out of the corner. So I'm not going to feel crazy bad about that one. You guys can tell me what you think about that one. And then he tries to spin it around, gets into the wall, and that was it. So yeah, it was actually a pretty clean race. Like I said, I think a lot better than the first one I ran. I'll take third. That's where we're supposed to finish. I mean, a bit tough of a break for him. Like I said, I didn't really want to make contact with anybody, but I also thought I threw it in clean. Was trying to keep it on the bottom as best as I could, and it kind of turned down in. So it looked kind of like what I thought from inside the car. Let's take a look at the results. Hopefully those aren't too bad either. Gonna lose a tiny bit of safety rating, zero point 0.03. It's that 4x, so it's just when you don't have a ton of laps, since these only count one corner per each end of the track instead of breaking down in two, you're not getting as many. So um, tough break, but like I said, I had to take a shot at some point in time, and that was the perfect opening, and I did it without having to dive bomb from a ton of car lengths back, and did it without slamming into him or something. So I don't know, maybe a bit too aggressive on my part. You can tell me if that overstepped the line of aggression, but yeah, it kind of is what it is. But three split race, so top split 1926 again, really weak, but it's tough to get strong fields in these. They don't come together a ton of the time, like the 3,000 plus fields. So just kind of nature of the series, I guess. But able to gain a little bit of ratings back over 2,800. Take that. I have things on the right trajectory at least, and try to keep it going up in a better direction from there. So hopefully the rest of the week can be incident free and I can get that safety rating back over 3.0 by the end of it, and put myself in a decent spot by the end of week 12 to license up to A. But like I said, tough break with the 11. We were running pretty similar. I was definitely running him down. He was staying really high, and I had to expect me to take an opening on the inside, and then when you do something like that, I don't really know what else you expect to have happen. Somebody's going to dive in and take it, and you can't expect that they're going to be on the apron and that you're going to come to your normal point. And if you literally think that all you have to give me is the exact width of my car on the bottom, that's not good. I'm not. I'm gonna admit I'm not that exact precise that I can put my car that dead even to stay off of everybody when that's all you're giving me between the apron and you. That's all I have, and he's got to be a little bit more aware. Just like if I done the same thing, roles reversed and come down, I'd be telling myself, hey, I've got to be more aware of that kind of stuff. So just what it is. I feeling pretty good. I mean, if a fast lap was faster than the two, it's faster than the 11. I was actually only a hundredth off of the one who set the fast lap of the race. And like I said, I mean, we fell back with the lap traffic towards the end, but I felt like I was keeping pretty good pace with the one for the back half of the race too. So feel pretty confident about where I'm at driving wise SK here this week. Tough field with a ton of the ones in it. Similar guys, maybe I finish back half, and I still need to work on a little bit more, being a little more efficient with the corners, like I said. But a pretty good starting point for somewhat limited practice. So let me know what you guys think of the deal with the 11 to me, where you assign blame, if there's any blame, if it's just a racing deal, what it is, and hope to see you guys back for another one. So until the next one, I hope all your laps are fast, your races are clean, and your finishes are good. Thanks for watching.